Let's see. Good to go. Aigsquail, Iquanasilum Nala Atanaquail. I'll call the meeting to order. It's with great respect and humility that we acknowledge and honor the lands of the Snuneymuxw people. The Snuneymuxw people maintain their profound, unique, and spiritual connection to the land through ageless traditions, teachings, stewardship, and expressions of reciprocity. Just like to take a moment to recognize that it's Administrative Professionals Day today. I'd like to thank all of the administrative professionals in our district for all the excellent work that you do. And without you, we wouldn't be able to do the good work that we do across the district. So thank you very much for everything you do for us and our students. Moving on, do we have any additions, deletions, or changes in order to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Leanne, seconded by Chantel. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. So we also have Tanya joining us this evening via Teams, and unfortunately I can't see Tanya. So Tanya, if you, I'm just gonna have to join the meeting so that I can see if you have a question. So just bear with me. I never thought of that before we started. Mark will help me. Okay, thanks, Mark. So moving on to adoption of the minutes, we have a suggested motion that reads that the minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting held on March 29th, 2023 be adopted. Moved by Charlene, seconded by Leanne.
It's me, right?
Sorry. We're good? Okay. Any comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Moving on to the section 73-2 report from the special closed Board of Education meeting held on March 29th, 2023, at the Board of Education, at the section 72-3 report from the special closed Board of Education meeting held on March 29th, 2023, April 12th, 2023, and the closed Board of Education meeting on March 29th, 2023 be received. Can I get a mover? Moved by Charlene, seconded by Leanna. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to announcements and reminders. We have our Education Committee meeting scheduled for May the 3rd, 2023. Our Business Committee meeting scheduled for May 10th, 2023. Our Board of Education meeting scheduled for May 24th, 2023. We have a statutory holiday on May 22nd, Victoria Day, and non-instructional days on May 11th and 12th, 2023. Sorry, just bear with me for a moment. Okay, I'm just going to go back in the agenda real quick. We do have one item to under section 2, transfer of items to open meeting. And the item being transferred to the public agenda is related to the turf fields being built by the City of Nanaimo at Harewood Centennial Park next to John Barsby. Specifically, the board passed a motion to increase its capital contribution to the project from $500,000 to $700,000, and also write a letter of continued support for the project to the City of Nanaimo. Sorry, I missed that. So moving on to section 11 under correspondence, we have 11.1 from B STEAM regarding SLOs and their lethal weapons on SD68 campuses. We have a suggested motion that reads that the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Ladysmith, refer the correspondence from B. Steam to the board chair for response to ensure a copy of the correspondence and response is provided to the Safe Schools Advisory Committee. Do we have a mover? Moved by Leanne, seconded by Chantel. Any discussion? Naomi?
I do feel that the author of this letter has made some valid points, brought up some concerns, namely one of them being the BC Human Rights Commission report. I've always been a huge supporter of RCMP liaison officers. I've worked with them, and I do know their value. And I've never understood or felt what some of the people who have obviously filed complaints with the Human Rights Commission of not feeling safe with RCMP, and generally speaking, it goes down to ethnicity, race is where it comes from. I never felt that way until, and I'm Indigenous, until 2 days ago. A man in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Indigenous man, 42 years old, had an altercation with police, and 6 police officers tasered him multiple times and beat him with batons, and he died. Was on the national news, and that was my cousin, my biological cousin. And my aunt to worry about those things. So I hope that when we take this to the safety committee, we really do consider some of the concerns on the recommendations of the Human Rights Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And I just want to start by offering my condolences to Naomi and her family. That sounds like a horrible situation. I guess there's a couple of things. My first question that I have is, I appreciate this correspondence, and I do have questions around the need for a lethal weapon in a school. My first response from the NDSS situation was that being grateful for reasonable gun laws in our country. I guess for point of clarification, I've heard in the community that RCMP school liaison officers are in all of our high schools except Ladysmith. Is that accurate?
Perhaps we can.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Sure. And just so a follow up on that, I'm wondering what has led to that, discretionary application of a policy across the district, across our district. So.
It's just that Ladysmith is a different jurisdiction.
So sorry, Scott.
Okay.
You want to answer the question, and then perhaps I'll just respond as well.
Yeah, it's just a jurisdictional thing, but they don't have the manpower to do so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just want to remind trustees that when these kinds of motions are before us on the agenda, we're really supposed to be debating what we're going to do with the correspondence, not the issue itself. So the options are refer to the chair for response, refer to staff for response, receive for information, and I believe refer to a committee if it's something that we wish to
Withdrawn.
debate. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Okay. So the motion's been moved and seconded. Any other comments? Other hands that I've missed? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Is that a?
I'm just going to withdraw. Thanks.
Okay, so for the minutes, that would be abstain.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 11.2, Ministry of Education and Childcare, Deputy Minister Christina. Wait, is that correct? Sure, I would have got that incorrect. Regarding Indigenous education funding, and the motion suggested reads as follows: that the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Ladysmith, refer the correspondence from the Ministry of Education and Childcare, Deputy Minister Christina Zacharuk, to be received and filed. Moved by Trustee McKay and seconded by Trustee Lee. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Tom, you're abstaining? Oh. Sorry, can you
I don't know where we are. I just got
Okay.
up. What would you like me to do, Chair?
just want to know how you're voting on the motion?
Let's do it.
Okay, thank you. Carried. Mhm. Sure. Okay, moving on to committee reports. Item 12.1, Business Committee. If we're going to use first names, use first names for everyone. Tanya.
Thank you. Let me just find them. There we go. Open document. So the first one is Chase River Elementary bylaw,
Oh,
and this is.
I'm sorry, Tanya. I'm really sorry to interrupt. I missed a part that was really important for me to read there.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, my apologies. I'm learning this new process as well. So by show of hands, I would like to confirm that all trustees are in possession of a digital or written copy of the Chase River Elementary School Waterworks Right-of-Way and Covenant Bylaw 2023. Tanya? Sure
Yes.
you are, because you're going to read it?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to inform the public that the written bylaw is included in this evening's public agenda on page 21, which is available online. There's also printed copies available in the boardroom. So sorry about that, Tanya. I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got a motion that the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Ladysmith, give the School District number 68, Nanaimo Ladysmith, Chase River Elementary School Waterworks Right-of-Way and Covenant Bylaw 2023, all three readings at one meeting today, this 26th of April, 2023.
Thank you, Tanya. Do you have a seconder? Seconded by Leanne. And just a reminder that this motion requires unanimous support to pass. Okay, so any questions? Discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That was your hand up, Tom. Yep, thank
I
you.
raised my hand, Chair. Yes.
And Tanya?
Yep.
Thank you. Motion carries.
That
Do you want to read the first motion,
Oh.
a second motion as well for first reading, Tanya?
Yep, I'll do first reading as well. That the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Ladysmith, adopt the Chase River Elementary School Waterworks Right-of-Way and Covenant Bylaw 2023, being a bylaw that provides the City of Nanaimo a right-of-way associated with waterworks at the Chase River Elementary School site pursuant to Section 65(5) of the School Act RSBC 1996 C412.
Can you continue reading the rest of it, please?
Read a first time this 26th day of April 2023. My apologies.
Oh, thank you, Tanya. Seconded by Charlene. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Does someone want to read second reading? Charlene?
The Board of Education of School. Chase River.
You have a seconder? Seconded by Leanne. Any comments or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Would someone like to read the motion for third reading? Naomi?
Read a third time and adopted this 26th day of April of 2020.
Oh, you got to read the whole thing. Didn't get off that easy, sorry.
So just read the same paragraph again. Okay, that the Board of Education of School District 68, I'm an Emily Smith, adopt the Chase River Elementary School Waterworks right-of-way, the Covenant Bylaw 2023, being a bylaw that provides the City of Nanaimo a right-of-way associated with waterworks at the Chase River Elementary School site pursuant to Section 65(5) of the School Act, RSBC 1996. Read a third time and adopted this 26th day of April 2023.
Fantastic. Do we have a seconder? Charlene? Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And the final third reading, would someone like to read the motion? Well, that was third reading.
That was
I got
third reading.
behind myself. Thank you. So we passed. Excellent. Now we'll move on to the next one. Item 11.2, Ministry of Education and Childcare, Deputy Minister. Oh, no.
No.
This is my problem. Yeah, I got it. Sorry. 12.1.2, Forest Park Elementary. And again, I have a statement that I need to read first, Tanya.
Okay.
By show of hands, I'd like to confirm that all trustees are in possession of a digital or written copy of the Forest Park Elementary School Waterworks right-of-way in Covenant Bylaw 2023. Thank you. I would also like to inform the public that the written bylaw is included in public's agenda on page 24, which is available online. There are also printed copies available in the boardroom. And I'll pass it back to Tanya.
Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith, give the School District number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith Forest Park Elementary School Waterworks right-of-way and Covenant Bylaw, all three readings at one meeting today, this 26th day of April, 2023.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Chantel. So as a reminder, this is a unanimous decision. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
And I'll
Somebody
do the first reading.
Please.
That the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith, adopt the Forest Park Elementary School Waterworks right-of-way and Covenant Bylaw 2023, being a bylaw that provides the City of Nanaimo a right-of-way associated with waterworks at the Forest Park Elementary School site pursuant to the Section 65(5) of the School Act, RSBC 1996 C412, read a first time this 26th day of April 2023.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Charlene, any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Second reading. Who would like to read for second reading? Chantel.
That the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith, adopt the Forest Park Elementary School Waterworks right-of-way and Covenant Bylaw 2023, being a bylaw that provides the City of Nanaimo a right-of-way associated with waterworks at the Forest Park Elementary School site pursuant to Section 65(5) of the School Act, RSBC 1996 C412, read a second time this 26th day of April 2023.
Seconder, Charlene. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Third reading. I'd like to read. Naomi.
That the Board of Education of School District number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith, adopt the Forest Park Elementary School Waterworks right-of-way and Covenant Bylaw 2023, being a bylaw that provides the City of Nanaimo a right-of-way associated with waterworks at the Forest Park Elementary School site pursuant to Section 65(5) of the School Act, RSBC 1996 C412, read a third time and adopted this 26th day of April 2000.
Thank you. We have a seconder. Anna. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. 2 down, 1 to go. So I'll move on to item 12.1.3. Again, by show of hands, I'd like to confirm that all trustees are in possession of a digital or written copy of the school district number 68 Nanaimo Ladysmith capital bylaw number 2023-2024-CPSD 68-01. Tanya, you must have it. You're welcome.
I do.
Thank
That
Thank you.
the board,
Oh, so hold on a sec. Sorry,
Well,
not quite done yet. I'd
sorry,
also
sir.
like to inform the public that the written bylaw is included in this evening's public agenda on page 27, which is available online. There are also printed copies available in the boardroom. I'll pass it back to you, Tanya, for the first motion.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry. That
No
the
worries.
Board of Education of School District number 68, and I'm Lady Smith, give the capital bylaw number 2023/24/CPSD 68-01, all three readings at one meeting today, this 26th day of April, 2023.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder? Seconded by Charlene. So this will be requiring unanimous support of the board. Are there any comments or discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Tanya?
Are you ready for?
No, sorry.
Oh.
And I understand that Mark Robinson may be calling in as well. Just confirm if he's in. No, he's not in. Okay. Okay, he's not able to get in. He's... Oh, are you there, Mark?
Hi, Chair. Yes, I am here.
Okay, I just need to hear your vote, Mark, on the first motion for the capital plan. We require, it requires unanimous board support.
I vote in the affirmative, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thanks
And
for
I'm also
joining us, Mark.
affirmative.
Okay, so it carries. Thank you. Tanya, would you like to proceed with the first reading?
First reading, yep. That the Board of Education of School District number 68 adopt the capital bylaws cited as School District 68, and I'm a Lady Smith capital bylaw 2023-24 CPSD 6H-01, being a bylaw associated with accessing capital funds through capital funding programs from the Ministry of Education and Childcare in the 2023-2024 school year, read a first time the 26th day of April 2023.
A seconder? Naomi? Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Someone want to read the second reading? Charlene?
That the Board of Education of School District number 68 adopt the capital bylaw cited as School District number 68 Nanaimo Ladysmith, capital bylaw number 2023/24-CPSD 68-01, being a bylaw associated with accessing capital funds through capital funding programs for the Ministry of Education and Childcare in the 2023-2024 school year, read a second time this 26th day of April 2023.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Again? Thank you. Any discussion? Looks like we've done this before. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Someone like to read the motion for third reading? Anna. Thank you, Leanna. Do we have a seconder? Charlene? Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Wow, we did it, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on in our agenda to item 12.1.4, before and after school care pilot school care, sorry, my words aren't coming to me. Program pilot. Thank And I'm just gonna, Tanya, I'm just gonna give a chance here for Mark. There's a few words that he'd like to share with the board.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. So, and thank you for the indulgence. So there's just a couple of questions of the business committee that went unanswered, and I did email information to trustees, but I also just wanted to take the opportunity to have it on public record what those responses were as well. Diane McGonigal, our district principal, who's running the show, is also here in case there's additional questions that are associated with this particular project, because she's the specialist for our district in this area. So one of the questions was related to costs. So theoretically, could the district offer additional services as an example to kind of come up with a higher rate and then share that cost out as a cost recovery mechanism? And I think theoretically the answer is yes, but there's a maximum the district can charge for families based off childcare funding guidelines, and that's $511, which is $25.50 per day times 20 days. So our break-even rate is $25 a day, and that's what our intention would be to charge. Pleasant Valley will be slightly less at the beginning in the event that the board passes the motion, because it's associated with Seamless Day. That's going to go up to align with Hammond Bay if it continues on. And then the second question was related just to, can we get $10 a day care? And that the answer, as far as we're aware, is no. And so licensed facilities that provide only out of school care services were not eligible in 2022's intake. We don't know about eligibility for 2023 yet. Obviously, if we have the ability to apply for grants to make life cheaper for families, we will do so. We just don't know. So, but again, Diane has, if I've missed any of those questions that I was going to follow up on, Diane's as well.
Okay, trustee. So if there's any questions that you'd like to ask now, I would welcome you to ask those before we entertain the motion.
A quick one, Chair. Oh, sorry.
Tanya, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, it's hard being this far away. Sorry, guys. Through the chair to Diane. So I guess I just want to make sure I understand. I guess what the ministry is essentially saying is before and after school care is not the same, viewed the same way they view daycare. So you wouldn't access the same kind of subsidies that you would, that a parent could access through for full day daycare. Is that, do you think am I correct in that?
We are accessing some of the ministry subsidies available. So initiative. We get a little bit of a provider's portion for that, as well as being able to subsidize the fees. We had that this year as well for kindergarten students. Next year, the government is including students in grade 1 and up for that fee reduction initiative. It is a lesser amount than that getting for the kindergarten, but as of right now, the $10 per day is not available unless you're offering different care throughout the day.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't believe that, I believe that parents are still able to access their own subsidies. It's just not through the providers.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Would you like a follow-up, Tanya?
No.
Thank you. Go back to Chantal.
Of a point of order. This motion that's coming before us, is it going to be read at once, or is it going to be two different motions?
Two separate. Okay, if there are no further questions, I would entertain the motion if someone would want to move that. Actually, go. Oh, sorry. One more. Sure.
I just want to take the opportunity. Diane wasn't able to attend the business because we wanted to give her the evening that she deserves. I just want to express appreciation for the level of work that she has done, like individually almost. I know you've had help, but like you've done such amazing work, and I just want to recognize her in front of the board for getting this to where it's at. It's just really great work.
And I'll just say as well, on behalf of the board, we really appreciate the ability to get to this stage, and we're really excited to see how it rolls out. So thank you. Okay, so Tanya, maybe I'll pass it back to you. If
Okay.
you'd like to read the motion.
Yes, that the Board of Education of School District Number 68, and I'm a Lady Smith, approve proceeding with a pilot before and after school program staffed by district staff on a cost recovery basis, subject to an agreement with CUPE that the pilot is on a without prejudice basis at Pleasant Valley Elementary and Ecole Hammond Bay.
Do you have a seconder? Leanne? Oh, sorry. Never know which way to look, sorry. Would you like to motivate the motion, Tanya?
Yes, please. I think that it's great to see that we've got to this point. I know it hasn't really been that long, but it feels like a long time coming. I know that this will mean a lot to our partners in CUPE. I believe it will mean a lot, be very meaningful and valuable to our families. And I appreciate the cost recovery piece because I think it's important given our budget crunches that we have that in place. Overall, though, I think it's a very good idea, and I think that we owe it to ourselves to try this pilot and see if we can make it work.
Thank you, Tanya. Anyone else like to speak to the motion? All right.
Thank you. I just want to express my thanks to everybody over the course of the last year. It's been about a year, I think, since we brought this forward originally, and everything that I could have been worried about was taken care of in order to accomplish something a little bit different. So I just want to express my appreciation to everybody and also my appreciation to the board that carried on this work these last few weeks while I was away. I appreciate that we're here tonight. Thank you.
See another hand, so I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Tanya?
Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District Number 68, and I'm a Lady Smith, advocate to the Ministry of Education and Childcare for additional financial supports to cover the increased costs associated with providing accessible before and after school care.
Seconder? Chantel? Would you like to motivate the motion, Tanya?
I think that one of the things that our district is very proud of is that we are working hard to continually grow and improve how well we serve families, students with disabilities and diverse needs. And I think that needs to be a part of anything we do around childcare. As much as we do it in the classroom, it needs to be in our childcare settings. And the reality is there are some financial concerns for some students who have disabilities. And so we need to make sure that the ministry understands that and they're supporting it.
Tanya, I believe Chantel had her hand up.
Yes, I actually have an amendment to make to that motion. And it's an amendment to change a little bit of the wording because I'm trying to make a point to the ministry and don't motivate first.
Just put your amendment in.
Okay, sorry, great. So I'd like to make an amendment to the motion. It would read that the Board of Education of School District Number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith, advocate to the Ministry of Education and Childcare for additional financial supports to cover the increased costs associated with providing accessible and inclusive before and after school care for children with disabilities, diverse abilities, and extra support needs.
Could you please read the last part again?
So after school care for children with disabilities, diverse abilities, and extra support needs.
Yeah, I want to make sure. Paula, did you get that?
It's okay. So I'll just go from additional financial supports to cover the increased costs associated with providing accessible and inclusive before and after school care for children with disabilities, diverse abilities, and extra support needs. Thank you.
What I'm going to say point of, but point of something, there's something in policy that says we need to have a little bit read one more time now that it's got it down. If you don't mind, please.
So, yeah. So I'll read it one more time in full. That the Board of Education of School District Number 68, Nanaimo Lady Smith, advocate to the Ministry of Education and Childcare for additional financial supports to cover the increased costs associated with providing accessible and inclusive before and after school care for children with disabilities, diverse abilities, and extra support needs.
Okay, seconder, seconded by. Okay, Tom. Tom seconded it. Okay, so now is there any questions or debate? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to motivate?
I do this more as a point to be made to the public and to the ministry that the federal government and the provincial government both have a mandate to provide accessible childcare for children with disabilities. And we're not seeing that funding trickle through to us at the ground level. And I'm disappointed in that. And I think if they're going to say that they want it, that they need to provide the funding for it. And you know, I myself have had the experience where childcare is incredibly difficult to get. Everybody has that, but when you have a kid with disabilities, it's nigh on impossible to get childcare. Period. Before, after, it doesn't even matter. And unfortunately, that's the sad reality that we have today. And I'm so excited that we're doing before and after school care. And I think it's a great opportunity to show them, like, we're trying to do this. Now you need to reach out as well and help us out with that. Because it's incredibly important to have that especially with JEDI that we have. Our equity, diversity, and inclusion is also a part of that, and a part of the ministry's obligations as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we have an amendment on the floor. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing that, oh, Tom?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to speak in support of Trustee Morvay's amendment. I think one of the biggest reasons to extend childcare beyond the private sector and into our realm is to ensure equity of access. And so I really think that your amendment is timely, and I look forward to voting for it.
Okay, so we have a couple more speakers here coming to us from online. So Tanya, you're next.
Thank
and then
you.
Mark.
Okay, thank you. I want to wholeheartedly support Trustee Morvay's amendment. I know a number of families for whom childcare is not feasible the way it's structured, because their children, if they are to go in a group setting, they would need an extra worker because they're runners, for example. And I'm thinking of a family member of mine. He's not that age anymore, but you know, there are children with some disabilities where they do need their own worker who can be there to keep an eye on them, and the funding needs to be in place for it, and it needs to be in more than just supported childcare settings. It needs to be inclusive.
Thank you, Tanya. Mark? Mark, are you there?
Thank you. Yes, I am. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
I just have a question. Could we repeat the wording of the amendment just so I'm 100% clear on the words?
Yes, I can read it. That the Board of Education of School District Number 68, Nanaimo Ladysmith, advocate to the Ministry of Education and Childcare for additional financial supports to cover the increased cost associated with providing accessible and inclusive before and after school care for children with disabilities, diverse abilities, and extra support needs.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any other discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, so we're going to vote on the amendment. All in favor? Amendment carries. Okay, so now we'll go back to the motion as amended. Okay. Now we're going back to the motion as amended. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question on the amended motion. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
So maybe we can invite Diane to take her evening if she'd like. You're also welcome to stay.
You're welcome.
And you're welcome to take something home for the back.
Thank you. So moving on to item 12.1.5, international student programs. Tanya.
Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District number 68, and I'm a Ladysmith, approve the expansion of the International Student Elementary School Program.
Seconded by Naomi. Would you like to motivate the motion, Tanya?
Yes, thank you. I would say first of all, that staff has done very good work in researching this idea, and I have every confidence that it will be good for the district and that we will be able to afford it, and that it will not cause more problems, but will in fact be quite helpful to our district. And I just also would share again that I was at Rutherford just a couple years before it closed and saw that they had a very strong international program there, and those children, it was just wonderful for them. It was wonderful for all the students, both the students who were international and for the Canadian students learning about other cultures. And I just think it's something that will add to our district in multiple ways. So I encourage our board to support it.
Thank you, Tanya. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 12.1.6, Audit Committee and Policy Update. Tanya.
Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District number 68, and I'm a Ladysmith, received the draft revised policy 2.5, board committee representation and annual work plan, and provide notice that bylaw 4.2 audit committee amended bylaw number 3-2202A be deleted and circulate as a notice of motion for 30 days, utilizing the consultation process as per Board Governance Section 1, 2.7 Policy Development.
Seconded by Charlene. Would you like to motivate the motion, Tanya?
Thank you. As I believe, as staff has noted at the business committee meeting, we have not actually been following this policy, and so this is just an update to make sure that what is stated in our policies actually reflects what our current practice is, and that the work that we actually do for the audit committee is already being handled in the business committee rather than a separate committee. So the updated policy will more clearly reflect that.
Thank you. Charlene.
Thank you. So I just want to speak in support of this motion. Then forgive me, because you all probably had a really good conversation when I wasn't here. But just to say that it's been a long-standing, many-year issue that we had a bylaw that we didn't follow, and we repeatedly had to go to the ministry to say, well, this is our practices. Do our practices align with the bylaw that we have? And is that okay when they called for an audit committee? Like, we asked that question quite a few times over the course of the last decade. And so I'm really glad to see that we're cleaning it up and appreciate the work that went into it. So I'll be supporting this wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. We have no report from the Education Committee this evening, so I'll move on to Section 13, Senior Staff Reports, 13.1, Secretary Treasurer Walsh with the Financial Planning and Reporting Policy.
Thank you, Chair. So this evening you see something a little bit out of the ordinary in the sense that we're bringing back feedback directly to the board rather than through a committee structure. The reason for that is because there was no feedback. So this policy is specifically related with creating a 3-year financial plan that is not essentially, it is a ministry requirement. It's a bit of a compliance exercise. And so if we go back to where this started as a reminder, the idea was that when the funding formula was being reviewed, they came out with a number of recommendations that included changes to the formula and then a number of kind of compliance concepts. One of the ideas of changing to the formula was, hey, ministry, if you want districts to spend all their money and not have any surplus, then why don't you guarantee us funding for 3 years? And then, of course, the other side of that coin is if you're going to, if you're going to guarantee districts funding for 3 years, well, then they should have a plan on how that they're going to spend that funding. So what happened is they didn't pull the trigger on the 3-year guarantee of funding, but they did pull the trigger on the requirement for the 3-year plan. So it's not exactly aligned with reality. So there's going to be an inherent disconnect in the functionality of this document. So I think maybe why we didn't get a lot of feedback. But I will stop being pessimistic about it for a second, because it will be a good guidance document for a number of things. So the board is going to be talking about opening Rutherford here in a few weeks' time. And then that's going to have a financial implication for the board that we're going to play out in a 3-year financial plan. The board, wants to, we had a tier 3 program last year. Well, here's what 3 years looks like. Or maybe the board wants to try a 2-year spending plan for some initiative and see how it works. You will see that in this plan. And so that's, I think, it's a good public mechanism to show, hey, look, here are our priorities. Just so you know, they might disappear or they might be short term, but here's where they're at. It's also our way of showing to the ministry if we want to expand School X and we say, well, we don't have any money to expand it, and they go into our books and they say, well, I can count to a couple of million, and we say, well, no, this is the plan for that money, and then they can't come and ask for a contribution. So it's also good for that, in addition to the transparency. So maybe not the most effective day-to-day tool, but it will be a good tool to tell the story of where we're going.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Are there any questions before we entertain the motion? No?
Comment, but thank you. Just to say that I have a feeling that even though we have a plan for the money, the ministry might ask us for money anyways. So I really hope you're right, Mark. But we've been down this road before, so I hope we don't wind up there later, because we're seeing implementation of ministry level identified policies that they want us to have. And I think that allows us a little more leverage as a board to point back and go, well, no, you said we could do this because. So anyways, thank you for the indulgence.
I'll just say I as well will speak in favor of the motion. I think having a 3-year plan helps us provide additional transparency to the public, and it also helps us prepare our budgets and priorities over a longer period of time, so there's no surprises, or hopefully less surprises. So I think really in favor of this. So is there any other comments or discussions on the motion? Well, it's been moved? No? Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a mover? Charlene, seconded by Chantel. Would you like to motivate the motion?
No, that's okay. Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. It's good. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. So we have no unfinished business or new business this evening. So moving on to item 16 in the agenda for information. 16.1, we have the board motions report on page 36 of the agenda. And we have the trustee committee reports 16.2 on page 39 of the agenda. Any questions or discussion on either of those items? Seeing none, we'll move on. Are there any questions this evening? Nobody's here, no one online. Thank you. So I'll seek a motion to adjourn. Yeah, and Leanna. And all in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone.